Greetings. This is a message to the figure, or organization, that has come to be known as QAnon. Many years ago, a movement developed organically on the darkest corners of the internet, in response to massive abuses of power and authority throughout the world. The movement, which became known as Anonymous, was leaderless and faceless, but dedicated to using technology to free the world and fight against the rampant abuses of power that we witnessed. We have taken down government servers in times of revolution. We have exposed some of the most corrupt and criminal elements of the global establishment. Over the years, we have continued to work in the shadows, through the rise and fall of many political candidates and authoritarian regimes, and we have worked to expose the most corrupt among them. As expected, our fight against the most powerful figures in the world has attracted infiltrators, which is a common tactic that the establishment uses when they are threatened by an outside force. This can be seen all throughout history, but especially in the COINTELPRO operations during the civil rights movement. In the past few years, an imposter among us by the name of QAnon has used the anonymous umbrella to discredit the Anon movement. Many researchers in the underground have been compiling evidence that this Q character is not really who they say they are. QAnon claims to be on the inside of the White House, but has done nothing but peddle disinformation that panders to a specific political audience. If Anonymous was really in the White House, we would have made radical changes to the system in the short few years that QAnon has supposedly been behind the scenes in Washington. However, for the most part, business has proceeded as usual, but yet, this QAnon figure has become a pop culture sensation by making false claims of having inside information. The QAnon phenomenon has gained the trust of many activists and freedom fighters around the world by pointing to legitimate problems in the deep state. However, this is what is known as a limited hangout. A limited hangout or partial hangout is, according to former Special Assistant to the Deputy Director of the Central Intelligence Agency Victor Marchetti, spy jargon for a favorite and frequently used gimmick of the clandestine professionals. When their veil of secrecy is shredded, and they can no longer rely on a phony cover story to misinform the public, they resort to admitting, sometimes even volunteering, some of the truth while still managing to withhold the key and damaging facts in the case. The public, however, is usually so intrigued by the new information that it never thinks to pursue the matter further. QAnon has had a difficult time turning members of Anonymous into true believers because so many of us are well versed in the tactics and strategies of counterintelligence and psychological operations. Now, as the QAnon hysteria has reached a fevered pitch, it is time for Anonymous to step up and unmask this imposter who has worked to discredit a movement that millions have worked to build over a decade. We may find that the QAnon rabbit hole goes even deeper than we could imagine, as it seems that they are far more than just a prankster or a provocateur. In fact, just this week it was reported in the mainstream media that the man suspected of killing the head of the Gambino crime family had a large Q scrawled on his hand in court, as well as other slogans written on his arm that are associated with QAnon. It is also highly likely that QAnon is more than one person, but a network of people working towards the same goal. This means that there are more points of weakness than most people realize, and there will be more opportunities to expose infiltrators who have used the Anonymous name to spread disinformation and encourage division. The time has come for us to unite. The time has come for us to stand up and fight. You are Anonymous. We are Anonymous. We are Legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us.